Welcome to the Continual Growth Podcast, where every week we bring you tips and tricks on how to live your best life. I'm Bawanka, I'm your host. It's episode 47, and it's time to bring that hot fire. Today I'm joined by Temi Shobawale, and Temi's here. She's going to tell us a little bit about her journey and what she's gone through to get to this point in her life. So she's the founder of Her Day, which is a movement that is about empowering women. Temi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very, very great.
Okay. And are you ready to get it popping?
Yes.
All right, so let's get it popping. So we were talking yesterday, and you were telling me a lot about your story, and you have a great journey, a great story that you've been on, and let's just share it with the people.
Alrighty, so I don't know. Let's see where I can start with this. My name is Temi. I'm mostly known as Temi Marie in the beauty industry. My main profession is I am a professional makeup artist and beauty expert. And back in 2015, I created Her Day. Her Day is a series of events that I put together. They're very intimate events that are created for women to actually be in a space that's truly healing, and we can actually come together and be raw and honest with one another. So there's a variety of activities and events that we put together at Her Day, and it's always growing. I have a big vision, and we're just trying to create a world where women can rise.
Okay, so let's take it back to where everything started. Where were you born?
I was born in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, Niger girl.
Hey, okay. And then you said you moved to America from there.
Yes, so I grew up mostly in the DMV area, DC, Maryland to be specific. But I often always say DC because people never know where Maryland is at unless they've been to the DMV.
Yeah.
And I moved to Toronto back in 2008.
Okay, so how are you liking Toronto since you've been here?
It's a love and hate relationship with Toronto. I love Toronto all around, but like everywhere in the world, you have your pros and cons. But for the most part, Toronto made me who I am. Okay. So Toronto's home.
Shout outs to Toronto. Okay, so now you're in the beauty industry. You're working with women every single day. And before Her Day even got started, what made you think, okay, I want to start Her Day and start empowering more women?
Well, I was in high school, my senior year in high school. One of my dear uncles, my favorite uncles, because if you're Nigerian, you got like 20,000 aunts and uncles. My Uncle Nee, he passed away from collateral cancer a year after my senior year in high school. I took a gap year and I was doing co-op. And for my co-op, I originally wanted to do social work. I knew I wanted to go into become a foreign service officer or do something international, sort of in politics. So I was just testing out the waters, and I did a lot of volunteering. I volunteered for Brampton Neighborhood Resource Center, which is no longer a thing. And one of my mentors there, she put together a lot of women programs for women in the community, and she had a lot of centers that she worked with. And Salvation Army shelters, like battered women shelters, were some of those. And volunteering at those places and assisting with program coordinating showed me the importance of why we need to build stronger women, stronger mindset as women, and why we need to empower one another as women. At the time, I was playing around with makeup, and everyone in my family knew I did makeup. They always made fun of me because I was going off with the crazy colors. And my uncle really, really believed in me. When he passed away, in the hospital, he was actually the first person to provide me with the money, literally, to buy my first makeup kit. And ever since then, I just kind of held on to it. He saw something in me that I didn't see, and I just kept on going in regards of the beauty industry, and I worked my way to where I am today. Amazing.
Okay, so you said you were working in the shelters, and I remember you told me you were a registered volunteer, and you were volunteering every single day. So tell us a little bit more about just what that entailed and what you were learning from that experience.
That was a really intense time because I myself being new to a new country and pretty much being here on my own, it was really different. It just opened my eyes to so much that people are going through and gave me so much things to be grateful for. Seeing these women whose life were uplifted and just torn apart in so many different ways based on relationships and people who have kids, and seeing how they're really just trying to get back their life on track, it really showed me a lot in the growth. We had these group of women where we met up with them twice a week. I feel like they were the one that really hit my heart. It was a group of women. They were all probably just lost grieving, just lost a husband, or they were still in a domestic abusive relationship, and this was like their getaway.
Yeah.
So we did everything we could to provide them with tools and skills for them to cope with life. And being around those women and just bringing things to them, just bringing my happiness and my personality, and being able to like do little mini makeovers and put on makeup on them and just create baskets, like create products with them. It really showed me how the littlest things as women can really make you happy. And once we're happy and we're confident with ourselves, we can do so much more for others around us.
Yes.
It's almost like empowering others is not just dropping quotes here and there. It's more of like the things you're doing, how intimate, how are you listening to their stories, how maybe you can't save that person, which sucks because you want to save everyone in a situation like that, but being able to just provide them with the skills that they can cope with, that enough made such a big difference in their lives. So those days really built me to who I am today and how I see women and why I'm so understanding when it comes to connecting with other women.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so now flashback 2015, and you're getting ready to create Her Day. What would you say was the major spark to, okay, I'm gonna create this, and I'm gonna just start running with it?
There's two things. I had a spiritual awakening late 2014, which led to me creating a blog, which was called the T.ca, which is no longer a thing because I switched over to Her Day. And on this blog, I wanted to showcase different women in my life that inspired me and were doing different things that weren't really the norm. And I just wanted to, I looked at my group of friends and I looked at my support system, and I saw a lot of different strong women who were in different industries, and I wanted to showcase what they were doing. So that's basically what the website was like. You can come, it's a social hub. There's beauty, there's travel stuff. There was a friend of mine who, she still does everything, like supports Black businesses, Black web series, everything. So it was like a resource center for everything you could literally think of as a woman. That started sparking the idea of, I was never someone who threw events publicly. But growing up, my friends always picked on me because my birthday was always like the space where everyone, like in high school back in the States, I was a floater. Like I was friends with everyone. Like all the different crews you could think of. I had some friends in each crew. And when my birthday came around, I invited everyone from each crew. These people they walk past each other in the hallway. They don't really hang out with each other, but being able to bring them together, just my birthday, kind of like created connections that you don't know where they may have led to today. So I decided, you know what, I'm always bringing people together some way, somehow, and connecting people. So let me start putting together events. I'm not gaining anything from these women empowerment events I'm going to in the city. There's a gap that's just not being filled. So I want to be the change that I would like to see in our community. So I created Her Day, and the first event I did, I brought together all of my different types of friends who were studying at the time, some who were bankers, some who were actresses, some who were models, DJs. Just brought them all into one space and like, okay, you guys always ask me for beauty advice. Here's a beauty masterclass. Let's all mingle and let's talk. And it was amazing. And ever since then, I thought of ways that I can grow Her Day more.
Okay, so I know you said you like to call it like a Her Day experience. You don't really call it an event. So inside this experience, what are some of the, like if someone who's never heard of Her Day before, what are some of the things that would really like attract them and make them be like, I wanna go to Her Day and see what's going on there?
Honestly, for a long time, I stayed away from even like bringing cameras into Her Day events, which is kind of annoying in the world that we live in today when it comes to technology, because everyone, it goes back to the concept of if a tree fell in the forest and no one heard it, did it really fall?
Yeah.
So I like to create an intimate space. As women, when you think of, I look at my guy friends and I look at my female friends. Guys, when you hang out with one another, you guys are like loud, rowdy, you want to be out there, let's go to the club, let's do this.
Yeah.
When women, on the other hand, yeah, we want to go out and eat, go dancing, go chill. But when we're in intimate spaces, like crazy, it's amazing. If the vibe is right and it's intimate enough, people open up so much, and you have to have the right type of personality and create the right type of ambiance for people to actually open up. So if someone's never, her day is literally grown through word of mouth. I don't do a lot of branding, which people always jump on my back about. But I would rather see it grow genuinely than try to force it down people's throat, because I want people to be comfortable and come there because they feel, hey, I'm gonna take the step and I want to meet new women who are like-minded and see where it goes.
Okay, that's amazing. Okay, so now you've been through a lot. Like you have a long journey. What would you say are some like rituals or routines that you do in your day to day that have helped you get to where you are today?
Meditation is definitely one, which I really need to start working on again, because you have your week or month where you're on top of it, and then for like 3 months you just don't meditate. You're like, I should really meditate. But there's other ways around it. Things like
let me just stop you real quick. So I remember when you got here, we were talking a little bit about meditation, and we were talking about, I was saying like I went to a 30-minute one, and that was like crazy for me, because usually I just do like a 10-minute guided one on my phone, and you said there's way deeper ones than that, like over an hour. So what's your meditation usually look like?
My meditation, if it's a day where I literally have nothing planned, which is rare nowadays, I will actually schedule at least an hour of me just either in silence or have some sort of just music or beat or something going on in the background, and I meditate.
Do you use candles or anything?
Sometimes incense are my thing. I'm so big on aromatherapy, and I also, fun fact, I'm also creating a skincare brand. I make products for fun, and now it's turned into a business because my friends are amazed by the things that I create. And aromatherapy is a big part of everything that I do. Like, I'm big on scents. So I kind of play into frankincense and vanilla, because every essential oil has different things, different like benefits to it. So frankincense help a lot with like depression, anxiety, and things of that sort. So I have a diffuser going on. It's just, you have to set the mood. It's more of just treating yourself.
Okay, now for someone who's never meditated before, I'm sure you run into people who have never meditated before. How do you get them started? What do you tell them to do, or just because I always just say download the app Calm.
Meditation it means so many different things to so many different people. You can be literally in the shower, and instead of thinking of all the things you have to do today and just already in another place in your mind, literally focused on just you being in the shower and thinking of nothing else. It could be you having a coffee and walking down the street, and you're already thinking of a million thousand. And I do that a lot. I examine my thoughts. I like catch myself when I'm drifting off and like starting to overthink, and just collect myself and meditate on the current moment. So it could be you sitting in the room, it's still quiet for like 10, 15 to 30 minutes. You can start with 5 minutes first, 15 minutes another day, and keep growing. So there's different ways, and it's a really tricky thing, because a lot of people feel like meditation is supposed to be a certain type of, you're supposed to feel something, but it's different for everyone. Completely different. Your mind can literally go somewhere else and think of something that happened like 10 years ago. As long as you are able to pull yourself back into the moment, that's all what meditation is about.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so let's get back to the rituals and routines. So meditation's a big one for you. What else?
Affirmations.
Yes, okay, that's a good one.
I'm big on affirmations. I actually put together create your own affirmation workshops. It's one of my big events now within Her Day that people really love. I like to mix it in with something that's interactive. That's one thing with Her Day events too. It's intimate, but I always try to make it interactive and
Yeah.
make it hands-on somehow. So for instance, I just went to New York recently and I taught a design your own calm workshop at Soho House, their Dumbo house there.
Okay.
And the way I designed the event to go is I sit down one-on-one with, let's say we're sitting here right now and I start talking to you and I create questions. I let you choose different themes. And you choose what attracts to you the most. Whatever topic, whether it's self-care, self-discipline, self-reflection, self-acceptance, whatever you're attracted to the most, we talk about that.
Okay.
And from those, creating a conversation and discussion, you start getting your mind into what you need to work on. And by the end of that, you create your own signature affirmation.
Okay.
And from then on, we then match that with like, it was for bat soaks. That workshop was for a bat soak, and that's where I kind of tied in aromatherapy with self-care. So you choose your sense based on what we talked about and the affirmation you created, and now you have your own signature affirmation and bat soak.
That's gonna be one powerful affirmation. So, do you have like a top affirmation, or everybody just comes up with one really powerful one, or?
They come up, each person, you can create your own signature affirmation based on what you feel like you need to affirm in your life at the moment. Affirmations, some people are into the idea of like manifesting and like creating an affirmation, and some people feel like it doesn't work.
Yeah. And
I feel like what gets a lot of people confused when it comes to affirmation is that you have to put in the work in order for something to affirm. You can't just repeat it and it's magically you're doing nothing to support this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're put into a universe and you're talking to God and you're like, God, I really want this, and then you're doing something completely opposite to what you want, but because you're praying and telling God that you want this, you want God to literally drop it into your lap.
Yeah, you can't just say it.
You gotta back it up with your actions. So affirm. I have like my own signature affirmation. I create one annually, like every year I have one. My one for this year is all good lies before me now.
Yes.
I've been on this thing about inner child for the past year. I feel like every year there's like a new thing that I need to work on, because you should never stop working on yourself. Like, we're human beings, no one's perfect. And inner child and like my childhood and like my parents and like their childhood, that's been a thing that's been popping up a lot for me. And I realized that I inherited this trait from my mom where it's worrying. I worry a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm always worried what's gonna happen next. Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Especially because I grew up, like, I've been on my own since I was like 16. It's just, I'm always like nervous, like what's gonna happen next? Something's gonna fall apart. It's just, I know it's too good to be true, but having that mindset, I had to retrain my mind to not think negatively.
Yes.
Like, thinking positive. Yeah, it sounds so cliche and everyone's like, yeah, positive thinking, blah, blah, blah. You gotta have the actions to back it up. I'm busting my ass up and I'm grinding and I'm hustling in order to get those positive affirmations turned into reality. So
perfect. Okay.
spiritual.
We're all about personal growth, continual growth. We're all about just doing things that are gonna help us move forward. So what would you say is your number one thing that you like to do that's gonna help you move forward in life?
That's a tough one. What do you mean, like activity or like?
Anything, whatever is like, it's for you. Like for me, I would say it's probably reading. Reading is one of, like, I never used to read before, but reading, like, I'm gaining so much knowledge ever since I've started reading, and that's something I like to try to do every day. That's gonna help me move forward.
I'm someone who, even though forever of being young, even my grandmother and like every adult around me is always like, you're very wise for your age. One thing I've picked up a lot on that helps me a lot is self-reflection. Like, literally at the end of the day, I literally have a moment where I reflect with myself, like, what happened today, what positive thing can I take out of today that I could be grateful for, what's one thing that I could switch up a little bit, but not in a negative way of like, oh, you really messed up there, like, be hard on yourself, because you're inner critic, right? You don't want to spark it up.
Yeah.
So self-reflection is really big for me, and I feel like that helps me a lot with my growth and whatever I have planned for the future, and just being able to take everything day by day.
Yeah.
and also goes back to forgiveness in a way as well too. So it's a whole circle.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's wrap it up. And what's one thing that you would want to leave people with? Maybe just if you run into someone and you see you're going through a little something, what would you say to someone to help someone just get out of that funk and keep moving forward?
I'm literally the advice person for my friends. One thing I feel like I've been relaying to a lot of people, and it's an advice that I could take myself as well too, is remember that the universe is working for you, not to you, not against you.
Yes.
So what you put out there is what you're gonna get back.
Okay.
Times are gonna be rough, but it's building you to be who you are and who you're gonna become. So every hardship, it leads to some positive reality and positive results at the end of the day.
Okay, that was incredible. I love that. It was great having you on the show. So now can you let everybody know where they can find you, how they can find out more about Her Day?
So we have a website called www.herday.ca, and if you ever need beauty related anything, you can check out my work and my portfolio on temimarie.ca. My Instagram is @temimarie.ca, and the Her Day Instagram is @herday.ca, and I also have my skincare line launching by the end of November.
Okay.
Skin by Temi Marie.
Amazing. Okay, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, being a part of the podcast. It was great to hear your story, your journey, and learn more about Her Day and how you're empowering more women. So continual growth is a movement that helps people create happiness through growth, right? And if you're listening to this and you're enjoying these episodes, what we need you to do is subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a rating, review. You know we love them 5 stars. And follow us on Instagram @Continual Growth. If you have any questions or concerns, hit us up, slide in the DM. We got answers. And other than that, tell a friend, because we all are trying to grow together. And with that, kill every day and own your fucking life. Bless up!